Hello everybody, Cyberstep just recently released the new mean freezing machine known as the Cold Forge into the shop for 399 crescents and also in the draw for whatever amount of win you put in and get lucky to get it with. Now the video previewing this accessory before it was properly released into the server for today, it showed off a little snowball attack that I genuinely thought was the X combo. Kind of turns out that that's actually the Hold X. So this accessory has no combo attacks at all and instead uses the style's weak and strong combo attacks. That said, however, the accessory has a weak and strong finishing attack, which are both kind of mid-ranges, not like super long, but it has some distance. Emphasis on some distance, which combine this with the lack of combo attacks and you get yourself a pretty nice accessory for Android style, as the style's basic combo attacks actually synergize with the finishers quite well. The weak class isn't really super with its range, but it comes out pretty fast and hits multiple targets that are within its hitbox. Even if one target is like right in front of you, the attack will still go through them and will hit any opponent behind that target, so that's pretty nice. That said, you can't really charge it to be unblockable, but you know, that's kind of fair knowledge for a lot of weak last attacks, which is a segue for our strong last attack. Now the strong last will summon these little ice pillars. When tapped, it will summon one ice pillar, and when held, it will summon multiple ice pillars. Note that you won't see these extra ice pillars if you are attacking on an edge, like what you probably just noticed a second ago there. But when held, these ice pillars can also guard break, and if you have Android, you can actually combo off that guard break to do just a little extra damage. But yeah, note that the held version does have more range, so your opponents should be kept a little wary. Now the strong last will summon these little ice pillars. When tapped, it will summon one ice pillar, and when held, it will summon multiple ice pillars. Note that you won't see these extra ice pillars if you are attacking on an edge, like what you probably just noticed a second ago there. But when held, these ice pillars can also guard break, along with the additional range. Combined with Android's weak attack range and the speed at which the weak last comes out, you can easily set the opponent up for their guard to be broken at a rather safe distance. Maybe not 100% safe, but it is definitely a lot safer than trying to do this at point blank, where you don't even really get to make much use of the range anyways. So now we go on to the holds. The weak hold shoots a small burst of ice upwards that summons a little snow rabbit that will kind of hop a few times before breaking like ice. Now the way the move functions, it looks as though you are meant to spam the move, as the first part of the attack has a bit of a lasting hitbox, and the rabbits that the ice cloud summon will last on the ground for a while, so a constant stream of those and that anti-air will make very low jumping styles like Knight or Hero very hard pressed to approach. Though of course this is assuming you are firing in a more narrow area like the Avion Bridge. But still, if used right, can be a very nice zoning option for you. Now the Stronghold has a much faster set of projectiles, coming in the form of the snowballs that I mentioned earlier that I thought were the X combo. These snowballs, when fired, will not only freeze the opponent if they land, but also, if they miss, they will stay on the ground, to which you can pick them up and throw them like stage objects. There's really not much else to say about it. Now while both holds may have a small ability to attack from higher elevations, the little snow rabbit from the weak hold does not spawn far from the user, so it kind of doesn't really fall down edges too well. And the Hold X is really more of a horizontal firing attack that after some vertical distance, these snowballs will just kind of break. So unless you're positioned at the exact right spot, you're likely just going to have snowballs flying over your opponent's head with without really doing anything to them. Okay, moving on to the Strong Air. This attack will fire 2 shards of ice diagonally in front and below you. As far as animation is concerned, it's pretty standard fare for Android. But this attack also has a nice little trick that I even also forgot to mention about the Strong Last attack. And that is the fact that these attacks can do ground pursuits. Though between the two, the Strong Air is just simply more practical for ground pursuing purposes. Now on to the specials. We have 2 types of specials. We have the Air Special and we have the Standing Special. This accessory has no dash specials unless you decide to put an inherit on it. Now the Standing Special is pretty much a more powerful version of the Weak Last attack. And with that also comes even more range than the Strong Last attack. In addition, if this attack lands successfully, it will slow the opponent down for a set period of time. So if you're expecting a ninja, unicorn, or night gear to blindly jump into your territory, this is a great move to slow them down. Now onto the Air Special, we have what's pretty much cascading icicles from the sky. As these icicles rain from the sky, you will drop right in the middle of the action, deterring any close-range combatants from approaching you. And thanks to Android's range, you'll be able to shoot within the safety of the falling icicles for a short period of time, where most other titles would need to resort to magnums or rifles to get the same effect. Of course, like other attacks of this nature, you are not immune to other ranged attacks. So be careful of gun accessories and weapons, as they can easily punish you as you fall down from the initiation of the special. Now this accessory also has a special counter. Now this is nothing special from the moveset in general, because really it's just the last C without having to do any combo attacks. That said, it's still a very nice counter regardless, because you can combo right after it, and it can hit multiple targets like the last C itself. Semi-ranged last attacks, piercing hitboxes, and slowdown debuffs. This is a pretty solid accessory for Android style if you're looking to buy something from the shop. If there's any one huge complaint that I have about this accessory, it's how the Strong Last attack kind of gets hung up on some parts of certain maps. I can understand why it wouldn't work over an edge because, well, you can't just form ice off of just air. But then you kind of learn that the Strong Last attack doesn't really quite work on any kind of slope at all. I mean, if you're going upward, you might get one little wall, but that's just about it. And there's some places, like in the shrine levels that are specifically in Megaforce only, where you have the little things that outline the road, and the ice walls just fail to come up, as if there's like some kind of collision there that the developers thought would be a good idea to put in, despite the fact that it doesn't even stop you from moving anywhere, so why should it stop this attack? So I guess now it's time to talk about some skill sets that might be helpful for this accessory. Now, through all these video clips that you've been seeing here, my accessory has had no skills on it whatsoever. Even now, I have neglected to put any skills on it because I am saving up my win for the next items that would be in a draw, which I think I'm kind of forming a bad habit of that. But anyway, here are some skills that will help improve this accessory to meet your needs. Now first off, in GAT. So you can choose Assault or Defense depending on your preference of more damage or greater longevity. But because of the lack of a dash special, you can actually put on the Lightning Blaster inherit, Lightning Shooter, which gives you a full dash special and dash super, so that's pretty neat. Though if you want something with a little more range to improve your keep away game, you can always choose the Reversal Bangle inherit. Coalescing Blade, I think it's called. Beam Cyclone from Vector Munitions or Nightmare Blade from Raging Grace are also very nice inherits you can apply to this accessory. Now there are quite a few different ways you can go about using this accessory in Megaforce. Killing for Winners is of course a very nice skill to have with this accessory, since you'll be killing a lot of super armored enemies pretty fast with the Strong Last attack. And if you're going for Red Bull missions, maybe you just might get lucky with rescue enhancements. though I'm not sure if you'll be able to get healing for winners with that. Or if you're going strictly for Baphoban missions, you can either go for Dragon Slayer or for Exo, depending on which Bapha mission you're going to use it for. I mean, it's really good in the very first Bapha mission because the accessory just works so well throughout the mission that you don't even really need any skills to actually, be good at the mission. In fact, even without any skills, it can pretty much do a lot more damage to the dragon than most other accessories tend to do. It's kind of like it's kind of like Chinese Spear, but even better when it comes to fighting the dragon. Which, of course, we have the Cold Forge's Air Special to thank for that little doozy of damage, because of the fact that each icicle pretty much has its own massive amount of damage, due to the fact that in most targets, it just takes one, then freezes the opponent, then knocks them down. But big enemies like dragons, they don't get frozen and knocked down, so each icicle will take its toll on the dragon and do some serious damage on the beast. And a reminder that even the normal air special has multiple icicles falling, which the Chinese Spear only had the air super, which, it takes a little bit to charge that up unless you have the Honeybee accessory supporting you. Now, honestly, I do not know much about using Exo and Ice on the second Baphoban mission, but I imagine that the Pariah Spectre is especially weak to the same thing that I mentioned for dragons, which actually, you don't even need Dragon Slayer in the second mission because the dragons have incredibly nerfed HP. Same song and dance for the Addenda missions, though because Cold Forge is specifically an Ice accessory, well, you're going to be a little limited unless you have some help with the Fire accessory, with the Fire Inherit or Fire Weapon, Fire Teammate, you get the drill. But all in all, a pretty solid accessory as we released for the shop. So I hope you guys like my review of this, and I might try to do reviews on more accessories later. Thank you for watching.